Can one user set another user's data? Hi, I'm Alex, the architect from Backfrap, and this is Talking to the Architect. And today we'll be answering Mr. Optimist's question. Mr. Optimist has this unique situation where he wants one user to set another user's data. And regularly, this is not possible using the regular SDKs, but you can achieve that functionality using Cloude Code. So to illustrate that, I create this new app and I have two users here, the first user and the second user. And I want every time I run a Cloude Code function from this first user, it changes the second user's username, but it could be any property of the second user. So I'll have to write that as a Cloude Code. So I'm going to my Cloude Code section and edit my main.js file where I'm going to write some code, and we will be using our API console to call that function. So I'll open the REST console in another tab so we can call the Cloude Code. So the first step is to define my Cloude Code function. We'll do that by typing parse.cloud.define, then giving it a very good name, so update user, and then we're going to async the request and arrow function it to my code. And the very first step in here will be to set up the current user that made this call, so I can know it was a authenticated user and not just some random call of this function. We'll do that by typing let current user equals request.user. So in my current user variable, I'll have the user that made the request. Then I have to check if I have that user. If I don't want to do anything. So let's start with a if not current user, which means I do not have the current user logged in. I'll do return and then a string, which will be user not logged in. But if I do have the current user, so else, I want to execute some code, and in here I will run a query where I will find the second user that I want to change. So we'll do that by typing let query equals new parse.query, and inside here we are going to pass the underline user because the user is a reserved name, so underline user class. Then I want to pick the second user, so query dot equal to, and my username will be second user. And then I want to retrieve this second user, but I only have one, so I will get the first user that matches this query. So let result equals, I'll wait because this is an asynchronous call, even in Cloude Code, query.first. So this will assign to the result variable the first result in my user's database that matches this equal to query in here. So now that I have the result, I have to check if it's valid. So if result, which means I found that user, I will do this portion of code, else I can return another string, user not found by the query. So if I do found the user, I can then start setting its properties. So result, which is the resulting user that I have, dot set username to my new value, which will be my new value. And then we're going to try to save it. So I'll wait because this is also an asynchronous call even in Cloude Code. Result.save. And for the save method, I'll have to pass two different values. The first one is null because it will be the resulting function of this save method. And the second one is the really important one. You have to tell the Cloude Code to use the master key. So it will allow you to save a user's data in another user, which is not on by default. So if you don't pass this parameter, your Cloude Code will not work. We'll do that by typing use master key and set it to true. And if this is done correctly, we are going to return new value set. So I'm going to publish this Cloud Code. Hopefully it will work. And now we're going to our API console, REST console. I'll have to change the type of request to post. And remember, I'm doing this in the dashboard, but you can do it from any Cloud Code, from any SDK, just the same. All I have to do is call that function with an authenticated user. So in here, I'm going to put functions / and then my function name, in this case, update user. And I have to impersonate a user. So I'm changing the second user and I'll be authenticated as the first user. So first user. Now if I scroll down and send the query, new value set, and if I go back to my database and users, you see my second user has now my new value as its username. So this is how you change a user's data logged in from another user. It must be done through Cloud Code, and you have to use the use master key as true, as you do not want to deliver your master key with your front end. Never deliver your master key with your front end, because an attacker might do some reverse engineering, and with the master key in hands they can change the other keys, and you really don't want that situation to happen. So if this video was helpful to you, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you can help us grow. Also share this link with a friend and they can learn something too. If you're already subscribed, thank you for that. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or any implementation you'd like to see, please leave it on the comment section down below. We always answer all the questions. Now, I hope this content was useful to you and hope to see you back. See you soon. Bye bye.